You know how, like in cartoons, if somebody gets like an idea, they have a light bulb pop up over their head, and it's like an aha moment. And sometimes people will call that like a light bulb moment. Well, I have a story, and it's kind of cool. It's about one of the ways that God has met my needs when I've been in a place where I'm in lack. But don't look at the mess in the back of my car. I had just went through and got a lot of giveaway stuff from the closets, and I've packed it in here, but I haven't delivered it yet or dropped it off because lifting is kind of difficult for me and my kid's been at school. So just ignore the mess. It's like on the Wizard of Oz. Do not pay any attention to the man behind the curtain. Okay, so the story, oddly enough, though, was about giving. So this is relevant. Um, I have been in financial, I guess, crisis for years because of the multiple chronic illnesses that I have. I have my bachelor's degree. I used to teach, used to be very hardworking and ambitious and successful in my field. Teachers don't make much money, but still. But anyway, because of my illnesses, I haven't been able to work full time in a long time. I've done a lot of part time work, a lot of volunteer work because volunteer agencies don't tend to cut your pay if you can't show up because you're sick. So that's something I can do. Haha, you get that. Volunteers don't get paid, right? You get that? Okay. Anyway, so I can volunteer because if I say, hey, I can't show up, then generally it's not going to cause a big problem for anyone unless it's something where they need me to depend on it. But I digress. The point is, financial problems for years because of this. And so there's so many beautiful stories of the ways that God has met my needs. But this one's really cool because in the midst of financial just extreme, I hate to say extreme poverty, it's not like third world poverty, but seriously no income, God will tell me to give. And of course, you always give your tithes, that's just a given. But sometimes He'll let you know to give offerings. And sometimes it wouldn't even be money offerings, it may be giving things. So I had got a coupon to get all these CFL light bulbs back when we had to change from the regular incandescent, and they're trying to encourage you to get the CFL ones for the environment. Now they're going to a whole other thing that's going to cost even more, so that's fine. But Lowe's, I think, had sent out, or Home Depot, all these coupons for you to get them for a penny a pack. And I kept getting the coupons because I needed to be able to do my whole house, and I didn't have much money. Well, a friend of mine needed some, and I hadn't opened the packs just yet. And so God let me know, give her your bulbs. And I did it, and it's such a small thing, but I was kind of like, well, what about me? What about air needs? But I did it anyway, and it's such a small thing. It costed me a penny. It's nothing, but it was something that we needed as well. Well, the really funny thing is, by the time all my regular incandescent bulbs had blown, because I was getting those in advance, my friend does house cleaning services for the elite in her area, and they had been transitioning over to some other lighting source, I don't know, and she had this just boxes full of CFL light bulbs, and she randomly just said, hey, would you like some of your bulbs? I've got all these extra. So I actually got back like 10 times the amount of bulbs that I actually gave. The reason that I think that's significant is that the Bible talks about how if you give, it will be given back to you, shaken, pressed down, just in abundance, just stuff to the full. If you give, and that was a tiny thing, light bulbs, but it is something that's necessary in life. And I gave out of my need and then got back in abundance. I just want to let you know, if you are lacking, do not ever let that make you be oblivious to the needs of people around you. Give out of what you have, even if it's bulbs, even if it's something that's worth a penny, which is funny because in the Bible, the story was the widow's mite, which is like she had her 2 pennies and she put it in, and God said that what she gave was worth way more than the abundance that the richer people gave, because she gave out of her lack and she gave all she had. So what I want to challenge you to do is use what's in front of you. I have a story about that later. Use what's in front of you. Use what you have to be a blessing to others, even if it's pennies, even if it's light bulbs, and watch God come back in His time. When I first gave those light bulbs, I didn't get light bulbs back immediately. I got them when I needed them. So just keep in mind, if you have sowed seed by being obedient or giving or anything that you've done, you don't always reap the harvest immediately. It's just like planting a regular seed. You don't plant a seed like for watermelons and expect a watermelon to pop up the next day. It comes in the right time. God is never late, He's always on time. And just because you don't see Him bless you for your efforts now doesn't mean that the blessing's not coming.